Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Edward Palantonio back with Couch Talk for the first time in a long time. And guys, I am so sorry I've been away for so long. I've had a lot of personal life issues, but I'm ready to get back in the saddle. Today, we're going to talk about the Trump assassination attempt, the second Trump assassination attempt. The first two assassination attempts since Reagan, I believe. So, 40 years since we've had a serious assassination attempt, and now we have two in 2 months. So, that is alarming. I think that says a lot about the American political climate. And that's why I'm back in this game, is because I want to try to get us back together. I want to try to bring the American people back together. So, we're going to talk about it today. So, Ryan Ruth hops out of his car, walks through the woods, and sets up a sniper's hide. He's got an AK-47 style weapon, which is what they keep saying, which I don't know what that means exactly. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just say it's an AK-47 if it is in fact an AK-47. I think what they mean is that it's got one of those convex magazines, so that it looks like the classic arced handle and magazine AK-47 style gun. It might actually be an AK-47 brand. It might be a Dragunov or something like that. But in any case, that's what they keep saying, is AK-47 style. He sets up his little sniper's hide. He's got these book bags with ceramic tiles in them, which is a good approximation for armor if you want to try to armor your hide. In case he was engaged, it was some form of protection against, for example, the Secret Service, who did end up engaging him. Secret Service sweeps a hole ahead, and Trump is on this golf course, and Secret Service sweeps a hole ahead, sees the muzzle pointing out from the edge of the fence, and engages. Ryan Ruth then flees the scene, gets in his car. He must have had a prearranged escape route because he did it relatively fast and with relative ease of escaping the Secret Service. Gets in his car and drives off. Another witness spots his car, gets the license plate and reports it, and he's picked up in a traffic stop, not very far from that scene, and is taken into custody. Now, Ryan Ruth is... It's funny because the media keeps on saying, we don't really know what his political motivations are. We don't really know what he's thinking, what he's feeling. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We know that Ryan Ruth is registered independent, but he's obviously left-leaning at the moment, at least at the moment, right? He obviously hates Trump. He's said as much. His son has said as much. He basically is a Harris fan. He's voted in the Democrat primary. He's donated to the Kamala Harris political campaign. So we know what his political motivations are. It's funny that people keep saying, we don't know what it is. I think that's an attempt that the media is using to try to throw off any suspicion that this guy might possibly be associated with left-leaning thought. But, it's obvious that he's unhinged in either case, so I don't know that it matters, right? Talking about motives, though, he's obviously a Ukraine nut. Like, he's just super... I think at one point in time, he dyed his hair blue and yellow to simulate the Ukrainian flag. He even went to Ukraine to try to garner support, asking for people to come and help out the Ukrainian... in the Ukrainian conflict on the Ukraine side. If I had to guess, I would say that his chief motive would be to eliminate Trump because by doing so he would because if Trump gets in office, chances are he would broker a deal between Russia and Ukraine. Chances are Ukraine would have to make concessions, right? They would have to say, we're going to let you keep this land because it's ethnic Russians, and we're just going to have to concede it. They're going to have to probably concede Crimea and most of the Donbass region, and Trump knows this, right? Like, it's too late for Ukraine to win the war unless America gets involved directly. Like, unless NATO starts marching their own tanks and planes into the theater, Ukraine isn't going to win. So I think that's the motive here. The chief motive here is that he thinks that Trump would probably allow too many concessions on part of Ukraine in favor of Putin, in which case, that's just not acceptable. But he also probably fell prey to the whole, like, Trump is a dictator, he's going to eliminate life as you know it, the world is going to come to an end if Trump gets in office, etc., etc. Now, on that note, and this is the key point for my video today, I want to be clear and consistent in my message. We are all responsible for our own actions, and our own actions alone. Not the actions of our audience, not the actions of our friends and family, not the actions of our ancestral forefathers, not the actions of our race, not the actions of our community, not the actions of any groups that we belong to, any religions or creeds, just our own. That's it. The only exception I make to that is if you are a leader, you have some accountability for the manner in which you are able to encourage those under you to do whatever they're doing. But that's it. Like, you're responsible for your own actions. So Ryan Ruth is responsible for his own actions. I do not buy into the right-wing media spin that it is all due to left-wing rhetoric. Do I think the left-wing rhetoric on Trump is helping? Certainly not. Is it high temperature? Is it volatile? Yes, it is. Would I ever call someone a Hitler? No, not unless they actually murdered 10 million people like Hitler. One of the things I keep hearing about Trump from the left wing is that he uses the same rhetoric as Hitler. He uses the same speech styles as Hitler. He adopted that from the Hitler playbook. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys realize, but Hitler was a powerful adversary, a powerful enemy, because he was charismatic as a speaker, because he knew what motivated people when he spoke. And to think that everyone else who speaks in front of a large group of people wouldn't use some of the same tactics, you're crazy. You have to. Every leader if you go back 5 millennia, every leader says the same stuff. They say, we've got to fight for, da-da-da-da-da. The opposition is poisoning the nation. And they all say the same stuff. If you go on mainstream media right now, you'll hear Trump and Harris both say many of the same things, just, in opposite directions. It's not that unreasonable to adopt some things from Hitler's rhetoric. It's not that unreasonable to adopt things from Genghis Khan's rhetoric or Mussolini's rhetoric. They're all leaders, right? They all say a lot of the same things to encourage people to follow them. Now, would it be appropriate for you to use racist rhetoric? Of course not. Would it be appropriate for you to use, misogynistic or sexist rhetoric? Obviously not. But the generic stuff, the stuff like we have to fight for democracy, the stuff like the opposition is really destroying the nation, that's pretty normal. That's bare bones, basic political smoke-filled coffeehouse crap. One of the other things I wanted to discuss is that there's this temptation to claim that the Secret Service failed simply because there was a Trump assassination attempt, a would-be assassin. I don't think they failed this time. I think that they did a pretty good job. I mean, we have to remember that Trump is on this golf course. It's an unregistered stop. It's not like something on his schedule. It's not something that's listed, which, by the way, it's kind of intriguing that Ryan Ruth knew to even be there. I mean, I guess he waited there for about 12 hours, but even knowing that Trump would go there on this given day is kind of suspect. But maybe he goes there. Maybe Ryan Ruth goes there every single day and just waits to see if Trump shows up. I mean, it's obvious that Trump is going to show up there eventually. So I guess if he's patient enough, sure. But I mean, the Secret Service. Keep in mind that golf courses are huge. Like, that's an outrageous amount of space to cover. It's an unscheduled stop. The Secret Service did what I think they did the best that they could. They did what they're supposed to do, which is stop the assassination attempt from taking place. Now, in the previous scenario with Crooks, they didn't even stop the assassination attempt. The assassination attempt took place, he just failed. So I think that's the key difference here. This time, they had the bodies, they had the procedure, they at least checked the area, they spotted the guy, and they addressed it as needed. So that's my 2 cents on it. I think the Secret Service did a pretty good job. Do I think Trump could use more Secret Service bodies? Yeah, I do. I think that they keep using the excuse that he's not a sitting president at the moment. And so, he's back to former president Secret Service detail level. I don't buy that. I think that each person who's being protected should be protected as they are needed, right? And obviously Trump he's a more controversial candidate than most. He says a lot of things that rile people up, and the rhetoric in the opposite direction against him is much higher temperature. It's much more aggressive. So I think that you probably, as a Secret Service, should have, just a few more people. I think anytime they request extra help on the Trump detail, they should get it for the most part, within reason. So that's my 2 cents. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like this video. Please subscribe. I'm going to be doing this far more often now that I'm back in the swing of things. I'm thinking about taking on a partner. I'll let you know. We'll have more details on that soon. Catch you guys later.